Mr. Cooper.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. To whoever can answer the question, having regard for the caretaker convention or otherwise, did the task force go back and seek the input from the Prime Minister or any minister in the government during the 2021 election period?
Thank you very much for that question. I can take that one. The site task force, as I indicated in my opening remarks, was responsible for writing briefings, and I outlined the 3 sets of briefings that we were responsible for doing. One to the panel, one to the political party representatives, and another one, the third, to the election security communication or coordinating committee. But otherwise, we did not separately brief the Prime Minister or any ministers.
Mr. Berthold.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would just like to note that your French language opening remarks were excellent. So if we could speak in French, that would be great. I'm not going to talk about media reporting. I'm going to talk about documents. Have any of you seen documents testifying to the existence of a well-oiled machine active in Canada with 2 main objectives: to ensure the re-election of a Liberal minority government in 2021 and to ensure the defeat of certain Conservative candidates identified by the Chinese Communist Party? Did any of you see such a document? Well, that's the problem. Every time we ask a precise question, every time we ask a question about a subject that might actually clarify things for us, it turns out the answer is classified. If I understand correctly, you've said that you report to political party representatives who are clear to receive certain information. Yes, that's the case. So when they're cleared, when you're cleared, you can't share information you gain through those sessions. Yes, that's correct. The info you give to political party representatives of political parties cannot be shared. So the only open door is the panel. You report to the panel. You take the information that you gather and give it to the panel, but the information itself cannot otherwise be made public. Thank you for that question. That's true. And I understand that this could be a frustrating process.
Answer to that, we do try very hard to, all of us who have been talking about foreign interference for a good amount of time in the public, we try to be as transparent as possible. But
Mais vous pouvez pas l'être, Madame.
But you can't be transparent. I'm sorry to cut you off. You want to be transparent, but you can't be transparent. And that's what's so frustrating for political parties. We know that the information is out there, but it can't be shared. You talked about a process. Every time I hear the word process, I think of a long-term process. But an election only lasts maybe 30, 45 days. So what's the point of CITE if it cannot act on the information it receives during the election?
And I completely understand that point of view. Having been a practitioner in the security intelligence community for almost 25 years, it is a careful balance that we deal with every day. We definitely are attempting to put more information in the public about what we're seeing, about the threat of foreign interference, about the types of techniques that are used, and this. What we're seeing today and the creation of the panel was a function of trying to do a better job at that.
Mais qui décide, là?
But then, if you realize there's disinformation on social media, that's already in the public sphere. Anyone can go out and see that this disinformation. So at what point does this become a secret for CITE?
Madam Chair, if I could perhaps add to that. I think there's sort of this difference between intelligence and being able to speak to intelligence that would have been shared with cleared political party members and briefed accordingly, and then your question related to disinformation specifically, right? So the RRM actually works on open source information, and those reports were shared with the panel, and then after the election, we have done an annual RRM report. But that is because what we're driving for is that we can actually understand the tactics that we're seeing. We work with our G7 colleagues to understand what they're seeing, and we share that. The reason it wasn't shared during an election period, and again, the panel gives the opportunity that it could be shared in the instance that we feel that the panel feels that it actually could impact the integrity of the election. And what we've
Inaudible. But apparently it's a process.
That is what the panel and the protocol is about, is to actually protect the elections at the time. And for the last two elections, based on the information that was shared with the panel, at no time did it reach a threshold that it...
Not your threshold.
Okay.
The threshold of the
Sorry,
panel.
I was trying to be good, and then it continued. So there's definitely.
We were waiting for you to stop it.
Oh, you were with. Mr. Berthold, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you.